Hi, I'm Kerry and this is Mike,
Hello.
and today we're going to go through how I made the leather armour for the Volume live action trailer.
Exciting.
Let's go!
That's Charlie. I like Charlie.
Looking
Charlie
rather
McDowell. That's
dashing.
me. Oh, in the background.
No, we don't need
That's
to look
going to
at
be a
you.
theme that I'm often there in the background. Of my
On your phone. No, there's not a lot of stuff in there. So, to start with, I made a kind of a basic paper outline of how I wanted the harness to look and the arm piece, that kind of stuff. The idea was that I would make this paper harness and then take it for Charlie to try on.
Because it's easier to do this than to cut leather every time, right?
Well, yeah.
That's
obviously.
A few iterations. I remember you went a couple of times to do this.
Yeah. And then I had kind of an idea of how the whole thing was going to look. Then, of course, once the whole paper piece was on him, I had to draw. That was weird as well. Just like drawing lines all over someone as they stand there trying.
It's a
not
very
to
strange
be
way to
awkward.
meet someone for the first time, right? Like it's a very
that was the first time I
awkward-
met him. So that was pretty weird.
It's cool. It's less weird than being in a recording booth with me though. That's super weird. But this was We don't talk about it. It's fine.
Okay. So once all the pieces are put together, I brought them back and kind of, you can see I've got like hatch lines on the areas that I'm going to get rid of and little stars where I'm going to mark it out. So now I'm transferring it onto tracing paper to use on the leather and measuring, always measure, constantly measure, which seems to be all I'm doing here.
So that's cool. So you're making like the proper one now. This is you actually planning out like what
the actual pattern to
pattern.
transfer onto the leather.
That makes sense.
Yeah, from all of the
bits and
the
pieces.
random bits of paper. Because it's covered in lines that don't seem to make sense, but clearly they made sense to me at the time. Because look
Which
at
is
me.
all about us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're working very fast here. I've never seen you move this fast in real life. Or is this sped
I
up?
may have sped
You
this
may
up.
have sped this
I
up.
mean, I don't know. I'm pretty quick.
To make you look
pretty
more
quick.
efficient. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's the entire.
Those are the finished pieces. That's all like the gauntlet pieces and the pieces for the back of the hand.
What's
and
that?
all
You're
kind of stuff.
motioning towards the camera.
So
and
this
the piece of
is
fashion.
contact adhesive, leather, and these are all the tools you're going to need. Edge coat. That's an awl for making holes and
It's
things.
what? Sorry?
An awl. AWL.
AWL.
Awl. Am I saying
Okay.
that right? Awl.
Like a Southern American owl.
Yeah. And here I am again, moving pretty damn quick.
So this is the transfer.
I've drawn this on the back of the leather
Gotcha.
with silver marker, just so I can see it nicely on the back of the black
Jazzy.
leather. And then I'm just cutting it with a scalpel. I was using a Stanley knife before, but I don't know. The scalpel just seemed more accurate for this thickness of leather. It's quite thin leather. Oh yeah, so a few of these things have different names in America. So like a scalpel, I think they're X-Acto blades, right?
X-Acto blades.
Yeah.
I've seen that movie. It's Wesley Snipes, right?
Yeah. So yeah, things like that, and the contact adhesive, I think it's called Barge Cement.
Barge Cement.
Yeah.
Americans name.
Well, that's a
things
brand
better.
name. Like Barge, I think is a. I might be wrong about that, but this is sort of standard contact adhesive that works on leather. So these are all the different bits and pieces. Those are the sections for the arm. And now on this main chest section, what I'm doing is I'm using an edge beveler. I don't remember the name there. I'm using the edge beveler to cut down all of those sharp edges.
Oh, okay.
So I have to go around the outside of every single edge just to take that down.
So it doesn't have that flat kind of. So it looks So it looks
Yeah,
more tailored. That makes sense.
exactly. Just to finish it off and make it look nice.
That's really cool.
See, there you go, looking nice.
I often press that by Photoshop.
These are the two different edges. So that's the unfinished edge and the shiny one there.
Gotcha.
This is edge coat.
That's Flebbing's etch coat.
Phoebings?
Phoebings.
Edge coat.
Fibings.
Yeah, edge coat.
And that's wax, isn't it?
Yeah, and so you put the edge coat on. I'm applying it with a cotton bud.
Oh.
You can use another thing called a cotton dauber, which is like the proper thing you're supposed to use for it. But after that, you want to wait for that to dry for like 20 minutes, and then you can coat it in wax.
This is a belt buckle.
And then you need to buff the wax to give it a nice shiny finish.
Of course.
Mhm.
It's a belt buckle. I know
This
that
is a belt
one.
buckle.
I've seen one of
Yeah.
those.
I'm using one of my own belts.
Is that other belt far away or is it smaller?
It's smaller.
Okay.
It's one of my belts.
Okay.
I wanted to get an idea of where the stitching went to hold it together properly.
I see, so you're kind of mimicking the way the belt
Yeah,
goes.
I'd never made a belt before. In fact, this is before I made, because I make a belt to go with this.
Mm-hmm.
This is before I made that belt.
Right, okay.
So I've never made one of these before.
I see. Yeah.
Now that I've got that the loop there for the other end of the belt to slot through, what I'm doing is making holes with the awl.
Okay. The owl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I can sew, because I can stitch through those holes.
Okay.
So I'm measuring them so that they're even and look nice when it's finally stitched.
Gotcha.
Again, working very quickly.
Lightning fast.
Yeah.
Lightning
I
fast.
should just do that for a living.
What?
Stitch things really quickly. That'd be amazing.
Be Quicksilver for a living.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like all the stitching.
Still stitching.
Oh, beeswax,
and then
beeswax.
beeswax, finishing off the edges on that little piece that goes in, and then once that piece is in, I stitch the other side of it.
Nice. What's this?
Rather quickly. So here I'm joining the edges of the pieces together. So each of the leather parts is laid out flat at the moment, and they need to curve around the shoulder. Yeah. So there are edges that join together on the front and back.
Oh, okay. Yep. So this is.
So what I'm doing here is I'm roughing up the inside, because this is quite a shiny, smooth leather. I'm scraping at it with a knife just to get a rough edge on it so that the contact adhesive has something to stick to.
Got ya.
So what you do is you paint that adhesive on, and then you wait for it to dry. You wait about half an hour for it to dry until it's touch dry, and then you can just stick it together like that.
Okay.
See? So that's a whole shoulder piece joined together there.
Because that's going to, that curves over the... I remember
Yeah. Alright, so this is after the second fitting, when I took all the leather pieces. You were there as well. I took all the leather pieces over.
Did you mean to cut that off like that?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking.
You've made a terrible mistake.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This twist ending is that the whole thing goes wrong.
So after the second fitting with all the pieces of leather, I'd made the whole thing a little bit too big, because I didn't want to end up with not enough leather around the middle. So this is going in and reshaping that edge. I hadn't finished off any of the edges on that end piece either, because I was pretty certain I was going to have to cut it off.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm sort of mimicking the shape that there you go, finishing off the edges again.
Kind of blending that in as well. Yeah, makes sense.
Right, so this is the other end of the harness that fits into that buckle that I attached earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to make, now you can get proper hole punches to make holes in the ends of belts, but this is a piece of brass tubing that I'm just sharpening the end with a needle file.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna twist that and remove little chunks of leather.
Oh wow. Are leather hole punches particularly expensive, or why did you do this? Why did you invent a tool? This seems
because I had the tubing
this is very
already.
Carry. Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, I guess I could have got a hole punch.
I don't know. I'm just asking the question.
I had a piece of tube that was the right size for the holes already.
That's what we love about you, Kerry.
What?
You can make things. It's cool though.
Well done.
Thank you.
I make things.
You do make things. So that's cool.
So that's the finished holes for the belt, and there it is fitting into the harness.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing here? Just cleaning up?
No, this is detailing. So now I'm going through and cutting all the triangles and the little bits of detail
you
that are on
indented.
all the bits that are on the model and the character in the game. It's got these indented triangles and sections, and I looked into leather pressing. That's not the right word for it. There's a method where you wet the leather and then you stamp onto it, or you can put it under pressure in a vise or something like that, and it just didn't have the same kind of depth that cutting a chunk
and those
of
sharp
leather out.
edges as well, I guess. That you
Yeah. So
you're
what I've done is
I've sticking another piece of leather underneath.
Yes, I am.
Nice.
A nicely roughed up piece of leather.
Okay.
I
never noticed that. That's brilliant.
No?
Never noticed that on the shoot. Never spotted that. That's how you done that. That's awesome. I know. I think I saw it on this piece. I think I worked it out.
Yeah.
I never saw it on the belt buckle.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I've repeated that on all the areas on the model and the in-game character. Right in there, that edging tool, you can't really get into those triangles, so I've gone in and done that with a scalpel blade as well, just to get that really fine cut along the edge, and then edge coat and wax and all the other processes.
I wonder if every time Daz drew a triangle on the concept art for this, he realised the amount of eventual effort it would cause him.
No.
He didn't think.
He doesn't think.
He's a callous man.
Yeah.
A callous man. This is looking cool though.
Really? A callous man.
Callous man.
So this is more, roughing up the edges to stick. So here we've got the main chest piece with its buckle that goes around the front and everything. And then there's that extra piece that fits on the top over the shoulder. So I've left the triangle, instead of sticking a piece of triangle leather underneath, I've left that triangle bare so that matches up when the two pieces are stuck together. There's a lot of this, a lot of roughing up edges. And
I like that you can see that this is now in the evening. You're now working.
Yeah.
The lighting's changed. This is now.
Well, I don't have a proper lighting setup, so this is.
We've probably got something awful on the TV, and you're just kind of going. Oh,
no, like a lot of these we're listening to podcasts or in the back. I've taken all the sound off. You're never going to hear it, but there's a lot of you talking to people on Skype in the background.
That tends to be what I do.
Yeah,
that's true.
So yeah,
that's cool.
And I'm just fitting that right over the top of that.
Nice. Your head's kind of in the way here.
It is. I wasn't really worried.
Do that again in future videos, please?
No.
It's distracting.
I wasn't really worried about what it looked like on the camera at that point. I just wanted to get it straight without showing any
really cool.
any edges of glue or anything.
I love how you've got the triangle there from the piece underneath that you had to have there anyway. Yeah,
exactly.
It's nice.
So previously, what I was doing was I was buffing the edges of the leather with a cloth, which the guy at the leather shop told me to do rather than buy any of the equipment for it.
Nice.
But it was
Good
really slow. Well, no, he was helping me out. So what I'm doing here is I'm using my Dremel and one of the buffing sections and coating it in beeswax and just going over that because it's just so much quicker just to go over that edge. Like that's done. I might have gone over it a few times, that one, because that was the first one I did.
You're timidly trying a new approach here. If we could see your face, that would just be a grim determination and focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm getting it. It's going to speed up in a second, probably.
I'm excited to see that happen.
I think it does. I think it speeds up.
Oh,
nope.
No, cut to something else. So what's going? Oh, there you go.
So I'm finishing off
right.
Just every edge I've already gone over with the cloth and the wax and everything. I'm just going over everything again just to make sure it's got that nice finish on the edge.
This is the elastic.
So this is the arm piece, which we've not really seen much of so far. And I'm just going through and making all the holes for stitching again. But before I stitch this piece in place, I wanted to glue it with the contact adhesive just to make sure it had a good bond before I stitched it in.
Okay.
Just make it a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
You know.
And you can with this, I guess, because it holds its shape more, doesn't it? It's not this one. This bit's not bendy. This isn't going to be under. This is more kind of.
It's not really under pressure.
Yeah.
This section. It's just to stop it from flapping around. So it's just to hold it to his arm.
Mm-hmm. This job looks hard, Kerry. You should get into computer graphics. It's much easier. Less beeswax.
Really?
Marginally.
Yeah, marginally. Still some
beeswax.
Sure.
Oh, this is cool. So that's the glove.
So this is I'm trying on the gauntlet here just so I can get an idea of how the two pieces fit together. So there are leather sections that stick to the end of the glove and also a piece that fits onto the arm. But the sections on the glove need to be able to curve so that they fit to the back of a hand, which we'll see in a little bit. And here's the gauntlet section to look a bit like...
Oh, there you go. Modelling it.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank
I'm
you,
just
Kerry, for this out there.
Just checking how it fits.
And this is you beveling the edges again?
Yep.
You're using that. The same techniques.
Yep.
It's cool though. I like that. I now know what that's. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I'm going around and doing that to all of the pieces on the hand. Yeah. And here we go. So they need to stick.
Is it convenient having the same size hands as the person you're making the thing for?
Well, I don't know that I do have the same size hands as him, but the glove that we got for him
kind of fit,
sort of fit my hand.
Yeah.
So it was just to get the curve on the back there. So the important thing about contact adhesive is that you have to apply it to both sides of the thing that you're gluing. So here I'm putting it on the back and then sort of rolling it over the top of the hand, and then that's the chunk of glue that's going to hold that in place. So here all the bits are stuck on, and I'm stitching in. There's like a little section that goes over the edge. Yeah. So I'm stitching that on.
Nice.
Apparently.
And this, we've gone back in time because I saw these fully made elsewhere. But these
it's a separate section. These are the battery packs that look kind of like quivers on the back of the because Robin Hood archery.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah, whoever came up with that was a Genius is a bit far.
That would have been Daz.
Yeah.
Is that balsa wood as well? You're putting inside?
I'm putting it on balsa wood. Yeah, I don't want it to weigh down the harness at all.
Because balsa wood's like super light. Isn't
Yes.
It?
Yeah, and also sticks to contact adhesive really well.
Oh, really? Okay.
So with the leather here, I've cut out these 2 sections of it, and then obviously beveled all the edges. But I've gone in and shaved away the areas where it's going to bend around the wood.
Mm-hmm.
So I cut halfway deep into the leather, and then shaved along those edges with the scalpel blade.
Mm-hmm.
Just so there's a little less material there, stopping it from bending around the edges.
Yeah.
And then more edge coat, because you can never have enough edge coat.
That's what if I've
learned
one thing in the course of the talking about this.
It doesn't matter what you make out of leather, as long as you've got edge coat, it's fine. Yeah. And then these are the finished battery packs sticking onto the. I did think about stitching them or getting them to stay on. I don't know.
Glue's easier, isn't it?
Glue's so much easier. Well, I didn't have a lot of time to make this, so we went with glue. We went with glue. I went with glue.
Yeah, I don't
like
remember
like no one else has responsibility for what I use here.
Take ownership of your work.
Yeah.
That's cool though. And that's it. That's it done, right? Basically.
Pretty much.
And then we gave it to Charlie. It's Charlie's now.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So he can go fancy dress as his own character.
After the shoot day, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and that's now on.
Yeah.
That glue's quite fast, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's because you let the glue dry and then you attach the 2 pieces.
I see. There you go. So you can see it from the front there.
Yeah.
Looks
Buckle,
really cool.
all the little triangle details.
Really nice.
It's not bad for my first bit of leather work.
No, it's really cool.
I didn't show it, but that arm piece is glued onto an archery arm guard.
Yeah.
Because I'm cheating a little bit there with the archery arm guard.
But that's fine, isn't it? If you can find, it's like the jacket. We found a jacket that looked exactly like
jacket
one in
was
the game.
from
It's like
just a high street shop.
Yeah, it's like if you can find something, then there's no point making it if it. But
and there's the belt as well. I'm going to have a separate video for a speed run of making a belt. If anyone's interested in that.
Cool.
I'm not sure.
I'm going to go on it and just say the word beeswax over and over again. It's a fun word.
Beeswax.
That's the end of the video.